fit in better. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's a story of a man by the name of William Swenson. He was a captain in the United States Army. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for acts of valor that he performed in September of 2009 in Afghanistan. He and a group of soldiers and Marines were escorting some Afghan elders to have a meeting with some other elders to have some peace talks. And their group was ambushed from 3 sides, and it did not go well. They took a lot of casualties. Captain Swenson was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, amongst other things, for running into live fire multiple times to rescue the wounded and pull out the fallen. One of the people he rescued was a Marine who'd taken a bullet in the neck. He and one of his comrades were escorting the Marine, carrying the Marine to the medevac helicopter to be evacuated. Totally coincidentally, the pilot and one of the medics aboard that helicopter happened to have GoPro cameras on their helmets that day, and they captured the scene. You can see it on YouTube, it's amazing. And what you see is this Marine lying on the floor of the helicopter, and right before the helicopter departs, Captain Swenson bends down and gives him a kiss on the forehead. This is an act of love. That's the only way to describe it. I've had the great honor and pleasure of getting to meet some of these people that we call heroes, people who laid their lives on the line for others. And I've asked them the question, why did you do it? No one would have ordered you to do what you did. No one would have faulted you if you didn't do what you did. You have a spouse, you have kids. Why'd you do it? And they all give the same answer, because they would have done it for me. In the military, they give medals to people who are willing to sacrifice themselves so that others may gain. In business, we give bonuses to people who are willing to sacrifice others so that we may gain. It's backwards. So I want to understand where people like that come from. For this very simple reason that I would like to work with people like that. I would like to work with someone who I can trust so deeply that I know that if something were to happen to me, that they would risk everything to save me. That's the kind of person I want to work with. They're willing to risk their lives. In business, people don't even like to give up credit for things. We are social animals, and we respond to the environments we're in. You can take a good person and put them in a bad environment, and they're capable of doing bad things. Likewise, you can take a person that the group or society has given up on. They may have even performed bad acts. And if you put them in a good environment, they're capable of turning their lives around and becoming remarkable and valuable members of the group and the society. In other words, we respond to the environments we're in. This is not some nice idea. Our very survival depends on this. You see, by ourselves, we're junk. By ourselves, we cannot lift heavy weights, and by ourselves, we cannot solve complex problems. But together, we are amazing. The problem is, with these ideas of trust and cooperation, is they're not instructions, they're feelings. I can't simply tell you to trust me. It doesn't work that way. And there's no business pitch or advertising that you can give upon the conclusion someone will trust you. You can't order people to cooperate. You can order people to work together, but that's different. Cooperation means that I can turn my back and trust that you won't stab me. Cooperation means that I can ask you to do something and trust that it'll get done, and I don't have to double check your work. These are feelings. And the question is, where do these feelings come from? Now, if you go back to the dawn of mankind, back to the Paleolithic era, 50,000 years ago, what you see is that the world was filled with danger. It was a world filled with all of these forces that were working very, very hard to kill us. Nothing personal, it's just the way it was. Whether it was bad weather, whether it was lack of resources, whether it was wild animals, it doesn't matter. All of these forces working to kill us. And so we evolved into these social animals, into these tribal animals. When we lived and worked amongst others around whom we felt safe, the natural human response was trust and cooperation. When we feel safe amongst our own, the natural human response is to combine our talents, combine our efforts, face the dangers, and seize the opportunities. When we do not feel safe amongst our own, when we do not feel like we're living or working in a circle of safety, the natural human response is cynicism, paranoia, mistrust, and self-interest. Nothing has changed in our modern day. The world is still filled with dangers. The ups and downs of an economy, the uncertainty of a stock market, a new technology that might render your business model obsolete overnight, your competition that is sometimes trying to kill you, sometimes trying to put you out of business, but at the very minimum is working to steal your business from you and frustrate your growth. We have no control over these forces. These forces are a constant. The only variable are the conditions inside the organization. And that's why we have leaders, because leaders set the environment. Get the environment right. Trust and cooperation is the normal way in which people operate. Get the environment wrong. Cynicism, paranoia, mistrust, and self-interest prevail. Let me show you what I mean. I was witness to a scene that played out in an airport. And one of the passengers attempted to board the aircraft before their group number was called, which I believe is a felony. At least that's how the gate agent treated him. Step aside, sir. I haven't called your group yet. Please step aside and wait till I call your group, is exactly how she talked to him. And so I spoke up. Why do you have to talk to us that way? Why can't you talk to us like we're human beings? She looked me in the eye and said, sir, if I don't follow the rules, I could get in trouble or lose my job. All she revealed to me is that she doesn't feel safe in her own job. All she revealed to me is that her own leaders don't trust her. And guess who suffers? The customer and the organization. The reason we love flying Southwest Airlines is not because they have some magical formula to hire great people. It's because the people who work there feel safe amongst their own, and the people who work there feel like their leaders trust them. And guess who benefits? The customer and the organization. There are inherent benefits to living and working amongst others around whom we feel safe, others that we trust. In caveman times, it meant that I could fall asleep at night and trust that someone else will watch for danger. If I don't trust you, then how can I fall asleep at night? Bad system. So if we want to create an organization where trust and cooperation are normal, we have to build a circle of safety. It's absolutely essential. The question is, how do you build a circle of safety? As it turns out, the human body works exactly the same way as any organization. If we want to direct the behavior of people inside an organization, we all know what to do. Give people some sort of target, some sort of goal, and offer them an incentive. Hit the goal, get the bonus, right? And guess what everybody does? They work towards the goals that we set. It works perfectly well. We do the same thing with our children. Eat your vegetables, get dessert. Clean your room, get a gold star. And guess what they do? Exactly what we want. Right? At least that's the theory. The human body works exactly the same way. Inside our bodies is a system of chemicals, a system of rewards designed to incentivize us to repeat behavior that is in our best interest. It works exactly the same way. This has nothing to do with free will. Of course we have free will, but when we do things that are in the interest of the individual or the group, we're rewarded. So we'll repeat the behavior. If you've ever had a feeling of happiness or joy, success, achievement, pride, status, friendship, love, all of these feelings can basically be boiled down to 4 chemicals inside our bodies. They are endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And so, let me break it down. Everybody here should know the first one, endorphins. Everybody here has had an endorphin rush, a runner's high. Endorphins basically have one purpose and one purpose only. It is to mask physical pain. That's what they do. So you do heavy exercise and you push your body a little harder than you're used to pushing it, and you feel good. And so what do? You keep going. And at the end of your run or the end of your exercise, you feel amazing. And then about an hour later, you're in pain for damage you caused your muscles about an hour before because the endorphins have run out. The caveman reason for endorphins is much more practical. It boils down to food. We're not the strongest animals, and we're not the fastest animals, and yet we have to eat. As it turns out, the human race is built for endurance. We can go tracking, hunting, and gathering for hours and hours and hours and miles and miles and miles, and we don't give up simply because we're tired, we're injured, and have to carry something heavy back to the tribe. We persist. Good system. In our modern day and age, we really don't need endorphins for survival. Basically, the main way we get it is from heavy exercise. And just like we crave exercise, you can get in the habit of exercise, you crave the endorphins. So too, did we crave endorphins so that we'll go hunting, so that we'll go gathering? Good system. Because it's no good waiting until you're hungry. Hey, I love hunting and gathering. Who wants to go again? I love it. Good system. As I said before though, in our modern day and age, heavy exercise is the main way we get it. There are some other fun ways to get it. Laughing, for example. I don't know what you were thinking about. The reason laughing feels good is because we're actually convulsing our internal organs, and the endorphins are released to mask that pain. We've all had the experience where we laugh so hard, we laugh so much, you say, stop, stop, it hurts. It's because the endorphins have run out. Dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for the feeling you get when you find something you're looking for, or you accomplish something you set out to accomplish. So you know that wonderful feeling you get when you cross something off your to-do list, the sort of like, right? That's because of dopamine. I was running some errands back home in New York City. I had my to-do list written on a piece of scrap paper, back of an envelope, whatever it was, and I walked past a store that I remembered I had to run an errand, but I had forgotten to write it on my list. Walking past the store reminded me. So I went in, completed my errand, came out, wrote it down, and crossed it out. Because I wanted the feeling of accomplishment, right? Dopamine is responsible for the feeling you get when you find something you're looking for. Here it is! Oh, I've always wanted one of these. Hey, it's on sale! When you accomplish something you set out to accomplish. We did it! We hit the goal! We won the game! Yes! That's all because of dopamine. Dopamine ensures that we get things done. Now, the caveman reason for dopamine is much more practical, and once again it boils down to food. We actually get hits of dopamine when we eat. It's why we enjoy eating. Nobody eats intellectually. Nobody says, hey, you guys want to get lunch? Otherwise our organs will fail and we'll die. That is the reason you need lunch. But we enjoy food. And we don't just eat pills and powders, we enjoy food. That way we will repeat the behavior that gets us the thing we enjoy. It's a cleverly designed system. That's what it's supposed to do. So you can just imagine in these Paleolithic times, in the distance they saw an apple tree or a gazelle. I really love that. Just do it again. So they're wandering across the plains and the savannas, and they saw an apple tree or gazelle, and they got a shot of dopamine. And the dopamine says, hey, that's the thing you're looking for. Get it. And what dopamine allows us to do is stay clear of our distractions, stay focused on our goal, and start making progress towards it. And as we get a little closer to the apple tree gets a little bigger, and we get another shot of dopamine that helps us feel like we're making progress. So we keep going, we keep going, we keep going, until we finally get to the tree, we get a huge surge of dopamine, we're like, yes! This amazing sense of accomplishment. We are very, very visual animals. We have to be able to see the thing we're after for this little system to work. We are no good with the abstract or the amorphous. This is why we're often told you have to write down your goals. If you don't write down your goals, you won't achieve them. There's some biological truth to this. Like I said, we're no good with the amorphous or the abstract. What if I said to you that if you accomplish more, I'll give you a bonus? How much more, you say? More. It's unnerving. It's actually uncomfortable. Tell me the target, tell me the number, I'm good to go, I can do it. But when you just say more, make it better, get healthier, I actually don't know what to do because I don't know what progress looks like. I don't know what it feels like. This is why metrics are important. Metrics help us measure the steps towards the thing we're after. The problem is, if we can't articulate, if we cannot see the thing we're after,